Thankfully, the president hasn't done anything wrong and wouldn't have any need for a pardon.
But does he absolutely rule out doing that? I mean, does he rule out ever issuing a pardon for himself?
Once again, thankfully, the president hasn't done anything wrong and therefore wouldn't need one.
That was White House Press Secretary Sarah Huckabee Sanders in the course of Monday's roughly 15-minute White House briefing. CBS News counted 10 separate times where she said the president has done nothing wrong. She was echoing Mr. Trump's Monday morning tweets. In one, he said he has the, quote, absolute right to pardon himself in the special counsel's Russia probe, a right he says he doesn't have to use. Niall Stanage is a White House columnist for The Hill, and he joins me now. So, Niall, explain this. We heard Sarah Huckabee Sanders echo what the president said on Twitter. But if, in fact, that is the case where they believe that the president has done nothing wrong, why is the president even mentioning the power to pardon?
Right. Well, I mean, that's obviously a defensive thing in itself, pushing back against this criticism that he has received. There is mixed legal opinion as to whether a president has the power to pardon. But this is really more a matter that goes to norms and traditions. There doesn't seem to be a line that Donald Trump has ever met that he can't cross or isn't willing to cross. And I think that's what we're seeing here.
Well, the president also tweeted, the appointment of the special counsel is unconstitutional. And you wrote that his pardon of a conservative commentator last week could be sending a message to those in the sights of the special counsel's investigation. So what kind of message is he trying to send, do you think?
Well, that theory runs that there are people under serious pressure right now. The special counsel has brought charges against some former Trump aides. Others are clearly in his sights. The pressure for those people to flip comes if they believe that they will be convicted. So if the president says, I'm willing to pardon people, then clearly that pressure is, at the very least, alleviated to some degree.
Well, in a commentary piece on CBSNews.com, CBSN political contributor Michael Graham argues the president does have the power to pardon himself. Where does the White House itself actually stand on the legality of that claim?
So it's tricky to get a really definitive answer on that. They seem to suggest that the president does have that power, but won't use it. And of course, that then raises a whole other question. If by my doing something I would be impeached, that in itself implies that I'm not doing something right, I'm doing something wrong. So you get into a very strange circular argument, I think, about many of these issues.
Let's switch gears. The historic summit with North Korea is just a week away. Is the White House worried that all of this could perhaps cast a shadow on the summit?
Yes, to some degree. I mean, Donald Trump has clearly looked forward to that summit. He wants, at the least, the image of him with the leader of North Korea. It would make him the first sitting US president to have such a meeting. And I think it would be seen by him as a vindication of his approach, which, of course, was mocked by what he would call the foreign policy elites. So all of that is a reason why the White House wants a lot of attention on that summit. Clearly, this is detracting to that from some degree.
Well, finally, Niall, the Philadelphia Eagles were actually supposed to visit the White House on Tuesday to celebrate their Super Bowl win, but the White House released a statement late Monday saying, in part, the Eagles won't come because, quote, they disagree with their president because he insists that they proudly stand for the national anthem. Tell us about that.
Well, there's clearly not going to be any ceasefire in the culture wars here. President Trump really stoking this whole debate about the NFL, about players taking a knee, as we say, and trying to double down on his position. It's clearly going to make a lot of news for a president to ban or to revoke an invitation to a team like that is obviously a big cultural story.
But for the president's supporters, this is exactly the kind of message that they want to hear. Essentially, it's reaffirming his connection with his base.
Yes, they like the cultural music that he plays, and he's going to keep going with those greatest hits for some time, I think.
All right, Niall Stanage, so great to have you here in New York. Stop by any time.
Pleasure to be here, Elaine.
Niall, thank you.
Thanks.